Okie dokie. On my board, I have now drawn up the next hoop, which is also going to be another one that's rolled on edge, and it's going to be this one. Oh, this one, and this is going to be from 40 by 12, and it's going to intersect this horizon ring, and so you can see there how what I'm doing is I'm allowing for 20 mil of overlap between them. So there's the outside diameter and the inside diameter of the ring that the hoop that I'm now rolling. Let's get the brightness on that a bit better. Outside diameter, and then on the outer horizon ring there was the outside and inside. So you can see here there's 20 mil overlap, and that will be to allow for the weld. So with the outer horizon ring, ultimately, I think really it would have been a better or quicker, put it that way. Maybe it was possibly been quicker to have bent it hot around a jig. But with this next inner hoop, which off the top of my head I can't remember the name of it. I have got it on my list, but I'm going to persist with the rolling method on this, because this one is actually going to be 12 mil thick rather than 10 mil thick, and 40 mil deep rather than 50 mil deep. So what I'm hoping the benefit of that will be is that it's got less tendency to track and to twist and whatever. So I'm going to persist, and I think it will go okay, fingers crossed. This is picking back up with the 40 by 12 hoop, which I've started. As you can see, it's still sort of bowing outwards and sort of going a bit doolally. I'm not going to get too caught up on like what machinery would be better to do it and like guides and all that kind of stuff. I'm just going to sort of talk about how I'm working around it. On this left hand side, I've done a little bit of correcting. On that side I haven't. It's very hard to sort of make out on camera, but basically what is happening, maybe over on this side over here you can kind of see a bit basically, but it's doing what I sort of explained in the first video, that it's twisting like this because the steel naturally it's strongest most in this axis, and it's weakest the other way. So it's strongest this way, it's weakest that way. So it naturally wants to sort of bend in the way that it's weakest. So it's doing that rather than just constantly bending in this axis. So what I've set up in the fly press is a very simple little thing where I've got a tool that comes down and presses on the inside edge, whilst the outside back edge is blocked up a little bit, and what that does is kind of twist it back flat. I'll just do a little demo of that. It's worth bearing in mind that so far I think I've really just been sort of showing videos of working on the floor where it's, a bit like concrete and, lumps from pebbles, etc. But what I have been doing is bringing the hoops up onto my cast iron table, which is dead flat, and putting it on and sort of moving it around and squatting down and looking to try and find daylight underneath areas. And so these lines that are on here relate to areas where I've sort of found like a little bit of a twist or whatever, and so I've been addressing that as I go. So really the point at which I'm accepting that it's okay is when it sits nice and level and flat on the bench, which is, as I say, dead flat, not just me sort of eyeballing it on the floor and thinking, yeah, that looks all right. Okie dokie, so this is the 40 by 12 ring sitting on top of the 50 by 10 ring, and there's a bit of an overlap between them, and that's because in the armillary sphere, the 50 by 10 ring is the horizon ring, this one, and the 40 by 12 ring is this one. I've forgotten the name of it. I do have it on my list. And they overlap here. Oh, focus. Is it going to focus? No, it's not going to. Why is that not going to focus? Well, they overlap here and here. And what I've allowed for in the overlap of these two rings is a 20mm lip. So if I just sort of push that, it overlaps by about into here. So it gives me a good area to do a weld. So what I'll do is I'll cut out like a little notch on either side, seat this into it, and then do a good little bit of weld to get it held nice and sturdy.